Okay, here we go. This is not hexes,
Right,
but they are hexagons.
right.
This is a method of piecing hexes, not English paper piecing.
No, 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 no.
So there's no paper.
No, no paper.
Yay!
It's much easier.
Can you hear the
than
applause
that.
in the audience? Yay!
Yeah.
No paper.
It is much easier than that. And with the techniques I'm going to show you, you're always going to have perfect inside points, so you can pull on them, tug on them.
Let me see. And that means a lot because this is
It does.
bias everywhere.
Well,
Super
and because
stretchy.
most people that make these have to go in and take one more stitch.
Look at that. Isn't that dreamy? You all want to have perfect points. Look at that. Okay, she's going to show you. Look at it. Ooh.
Yeah, and we can make any size we want. But first of all,
because it's not a template for hexes. It's your which one?
Star Maker 6.
Star
Because
Maker
how many
6.
sides does a
Okay,
hexagon
wow,
have?
she just rubbing it in. Mathematics. Okay,
That's
hexagons have 6 sides, so you use.
Yes.
So you could do an octagon using the 8 and create this similar block.
It's a little bit more complicated, but I'm working on it.
Okay.
What you need to do when you know what size hexagon, like if you're using somebody else's pattern, you know, sometimes they'll give you a template.
I love that expression. Like, why would you want to buy anyone
know
else's
it.
pattern but mine?
No, right.
That's what that expression is.
So when you know how big it is, you cut a strip that width,
Okay. Okay. So you cut your strip based on
the size of
the
the hexagon.
size of hexagon you want, and this ruler, not ruler,
The
Star Maker 6 can cut up
Any
to. You say any size, man. I'm seeing mammoth one.
15, 16 inches.
Wow. So you
These are
would
3
barely
inches?
you would barely need any hexes.
Right. One would do the quilt's done.
And imagine how fun that would be to quilt like the hexagon, free motion using the octi hoops. Okay.
Okay, now we're going to fold this in half and crease it.
Okay.
The strip.
So it started out not folded.
Right.
Even though we watched it be folded
Right.
first.
And we're going to take the Star Maker 6 and put the point right at the top. Now we're not
I'm
cutting
gonna
anything
I'm
yet.
gonna zoom in
Okay,
here.
we're not cutting, we're just putting it there.
So this time we don't want to cut off the top.
No, we don't want to cut anything.
Oh, okay, so all right, I'm totally lost then.
Okay, then we're going to mark the ruler, and I use what I call static sticker. I
Is
mark
that-
where the fold is.
What is it? Okay.
It's,
Is it like a vinyl?
yeah,
So it has static
it has
electricity,
static, yeah,
especially in Phoenix.
yeah.
That's
So
where
that
that's where
mark-
Kaye lives, but you can't.
Yes.
We're not going to give you her address.
No. Okay, so you want to mark where the fold is, because that changes with the size of the hexagon. If you have a tiny one, the fold could be up here. Or a big one, it could be down here.
Okay, so that's why you need the static.
Right, because wherever the fold is, you bring that to the top, and you make 2 cuts,
Oh
and
my
you have a
gosh!
perfect hexagon.
That's so easy. This is the one that blew my mind. Did you guys see that? Oh my god!
You want to see it again?
She's laughing at me because
Yeah,
I
see?
should have already have seen all of her stuff by now. Okay, so let's do this again. I'm
Okay,
gonna go
we
close
put the
up.
point at the top. That's where the raw edges are.
Okay, so is this the same size? No, it's just you fold it. So whatever
Right.
width. Okay, I'm getting it.
You just mark. All you need to know is where the fold comes.
Okay.
And I don't want to mark the ruler with, something that'll stay there permanently. So you move wherever the fold was, now comes up here. And you make 2 cuts.
And you don't have to do the math to figure out what
no,
that is.
You don't do any math.
And then and then you remove the ruler, the Star Maker 6, and you end up with a perfect hexagon without having to go
yeah, and you don't have to draw any seam lines.
You don't
on
have to
it.
make sound effects either when you go around the ruler.
Then when we go to sew it together, take a look here. We've got red and blue thread.
I do that different color threads too.
The blue threads, I call that anchoring the seam. We're going to sew all the way from one end to the next, which is against all the rules of sewing hexagons together.
Yes, it is. Because how are you supposed to get the other?
Right. And I sew every other one to this center all the way. Then when I go to piece in the hexagons around it, there's already a seam there. I don't cross the seam. Start and stop at the seam.
Is anybody else lost? It's just me.
Just you. That's why I do it in red and blue. You do all the blue first.
So would this be a side that would make it easier for me to visualize?
Good.
Okay.
We just bring this together.
Okay, so you go all the way across, and then...
Yep. And then to sew this together, there's a seam here, so you start at the seam.
Oh, that is so cool.
There's no seam here, so you go all the way to the end. And that makes the perfect point for the next ones you join.
Which is what you're seeing here. This is so cool. And can you mix and match? Have you done that before? Like
Size-wise?
different sizes? Probably a little bit more thought process required.
Right, yeah, they wouldn't butt up against, the angle would be right,
Yeah.
but the size.
But this is
wouldn't.
not applique.
No,
This is pieced,
right,
so it'll be soft.
right.
It'll
And
take, how much time would a hexi quilt take this size?
This one I made in a weekend. Because I
Okay.
didn't have to rip, I didn't have to go in and take extra stitches, I didn't have to draw seam lines.
And somebody said it would take you how long?
About 5 or 6 weeks.
And it took you 2 days?
Yeah.
So there you go. This is
Yep.
why you want to do it the Kaye Wood way.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. And don't mistake the wrinkles for puckers,
quilts
because
live in the suitcase.
and she
ready to go.
is opening up all kinds of things for us to enjoy tonight with this sleepover at Kaye's house. See, she's got her sandals and I've got my bare feet, barefooted at Kaye's house. Let's see if I can see this one again. There we go. Now you know I'm actually here. Ponytail because it's hot in Phoenix. I'm from Prescott. She's from Phoenix. Okay, on to another one because I don't think she's ever going to go to bed.
How about our Iceland cruise coming
yeah,
up?
let's talk about another cruise. Here we go.
Yeah, it's right over there. Whoops, that's not it.
I made him dizzy again. Sorry, you guys. Okay, so tell us about this.
Well, in September, we decided to sort of get something crossed off my bucket list, and that was to go to Iceland. And
There's the boat that you could be on
yes,
with Kaye Wood.
quilting and cruising, and we're leaving from London.
And she's asked me to go on cruises before, but I can't afford just to cruise around the country. Maybe one day. So you're flying to London first?
Then we go make a stop in Scotland.
So if any of my fans out there are from London and Scotland, I think I had people from both of those on my live New Year's Eve episode.
And we'd love to have them join us.
Yeah, you're already there. It'll be cheaper for you because you won't have to fly to
Well,
London.
except that we make 3 stops then in Iceland, which I understand is warmer than Greenland.
And when is the Northern Lights going on during that time?
No.
No? Oh. Well, it's still beautiful.
Yeah. And then we go on to St. John's, Newfoundland, and Nova Scotia.
Oh,
And into
I've always
New York
wanted to go
City.
there. I've always wanted to go to
So
Nova
it's a
Scotia.
one-way cruise from London to New York.
How nice. So
Yeah.
the prices vary based on the cabin you get.
Yes, yeah.
And, how spoiled you want to make yourself.
Right, yeah. Yep.
And then they have
15
access
days.
to Kaye Wood 24 hours a day, 7 days a
know
week
it.
during the
Yeah.
cruise. I think she might hide away a little bit in her cabin.
We have a lot of funny stories that happen on a cruise ship.
And
but-
I'm sure there's lots of